Thank you for joining us for our February 26, 2025 York City Council Committee meeting. This meeting has been called to order. Our issues for this committee meeting will be for March 4th, 2025 and March 18th, 2025 for the legislative agenda as follows. I will hand it over to Councilwoman Dennis, Chair of the Public Works Committee.
Good evening. This evening we have a resolution awarding a contract for refuge and recycling and container collection services. That was submitted by India. Would you like to speak on it?
Sure. Good evening. You probably need that. Yeah.
Microphone.
I think he.
You got trading spots.
Yeah. Did you get a position sign? Do that here.
You can't do it in city property.
Yep.
No.
How many city property?
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are here to represent Public Works to bring to you this evening the refuse recycling contract, collections contract for the City of York for consideration for the legislative agenda for March the 4th.
All righty. Is there a motion to place, is there a council comment? I'm sorry. I'm trying to move forward. Is there any council comments?
Just quick question. I did see the RFP on the website. What date did you post the request for proposals? I didn't notice that. Do you know?
What date?
Approximately.
It was December, you have to look, December 4th.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any?
December 4th, India?
December 4th, 2024, yes.
Oh, I'll just add that whatever contract is selected, it's got a May 1 start date.
It does.
Soon. Okay, thank you for doing that.
Any more council comments?
Yes, what is the amount?
We are still working on the numbers, and we hope to have that information to you before March 4th so that you can review it.
Thank you. And I have one more question. How many bidders did we have on the contract?
Two.
Two? Thank you.
One more than normal.
Yeah.
Well, it's a thankless job. As you move in towards the center of the city where you have block after block of multifamily, row homes, I mean, it's a mountain of garbage in front of each residence. And the way people just throw it out there, it's no wonder, refuse companies really don't want to, work with the city of York. I don't know if there's a way we can better enforce our, refuse ordinances to help make that process a little bit easier for our trash collectors, but they really have an overwhelming task. And I feel bad for them when I see some of the messes they have to stop and try to pick up. So I'm sure that hurts us on the bid total as well because it's a really rough job. I did notice that one of, a company called Good, they're out of Ephrata. Do they have a facility in York?
They will.
They will? Mm-hmm. Okay. By May 1st?
Yes.
All right. I just saw that distance.
Yes, they will. That is a part of the agreement.
Okay.
Any more council comments? Do we have any public comments? All right, is there a motion to place this on the agenda for March 4th?
I move.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded, so we will place that on March 4th agenda.
Thank you.
That's just for, who is it? Jonas Q. Dennis and,
Me.
yeah.
All in favor?
Yes, all in favor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Opposed, no?
Yes. Okay. Next, we have a bill amending the 2025 budget to appropriate MNOA for Fund 20 building repairs. Would you like to speak on that? All right.
Right, so that bill would be to transfer money from last year's building repair funds in the parks budget over to the 2025 to finish some repairs in a few of the recreation facilities. One's the Yorktown Center, and then Gross Park, bathroom doors at Gross Park, and then bathroom doors also at Memorial Stadium. Memorial Field.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Dave, what'd you say at Yorktown Center?
Doors,
Okay.
entrance doors.
Is there any council comments?
Yes, can you tell us how often you have to replace the doors? Are they metal locking doors? Were they damaged by users?
This age, the doors at Gross Park are original, so 1952.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Non-existent.
Yeah, those are actually non-existent. They're just plywood.
Right now.
The doors at the Yorktown Center, those doors were replaced right before I started here in '85, so 40 years ago. So we've gotten their wear and tear out of them.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Any more council comments? Public comments? All right, with that said, do we have a motion to place on the March 4th agenda?
I move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That will be moved and placed on the March 4th agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Dennis. Moving along, we have our Economic and Community Development Department. On the agenda is a resolution approving substantial amendments to the Home Art Allocation Plan. I see we have Ms. Tammy Harvey Bethea here from the Bureau of Housing.
Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
So I'm here for the home ARP application. You guys have already approved this, but within compliance for HUD, we had to come back and we had to amend the wording because you have to be specific, project specific. And the first time you guys said yes to this, we didn't put for seniors. You have to be project specific in the wording. So right now, I'm just bringing it to you guys, just the amend and put seniors in there. That's it.
Thank you.
And this is the project for Market Street.
Okay. Is there any council comment regarding this?
I just have a question. It says on the initial page, January 2023, is that?
That's when we came to you guys at
Okay,
first. Yeah.
right, so that's the one we're, great, that clears it up. Thank you.
I wanted to, I was confused, so I did a little research, read through the whole thing, and it does look like this HUD, Home ARP grant, so the ARP is for the American Rescue Plan Act. So this is separate from our ARPA funds.
Correct.
Yes.
Because it's under HUD. And, right, I saw that we did submit it, it was required to be submitted by March 2023, and you met that deadline. Good job. And the funds, it reads as though they expire in 5 years from now, in 2030. And I read that the grants are to help create rental housing for QP, qualified populations, because there were some acronyms I didn't know. And in the PJ, and the PJ stands for Participating Jurisdiction, save you looking that up, which is the city. The proposal says the city goal is to make 8 affordable units
Correct.
for $1.9 million.
Yes.
And they can be new or refurbished or even partnering with someone. So you mentioned the Market Street, did you say?
Rebuilding at 465, 467
West or east?
West.
465 and 467 West Market.
Yes.
And that's going to have, that will have the 8 units, or will there be, are they shooting for more?
Working on that.
Shooting for 8?
Yes.
At the minimum?
It's in process right now. So right now, you're just putting it on the budget so we can talk about it. But right now, we're in the progress of getting everything filled out. We have no application, anything like that. We're working on the process.
That was my other question. Was an RFP put out in the past 2 years?
Yes, we did all that. And before we came to you in January 2023.
Okay, so there was an RFP put out?
Yes.
And you've got responses?
Yes.
Has anybody been picked to do any work?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't get into that level of it. And so there are 4 qualifying populations, and the elderly counts as a preference.
Yes.
So it's not that you're changing the populations, you're just adding a preference, which was confusing, but that would be government requirements, government requirements.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we have drawn down some of the almost $9 million. Has it been?
We drew a little bit down because we're in the process of doing the ERRs and everything, so we have to make sure that everything is up to par before we can even start anything.
Is that engineering, ER?
No, actually, it's admin. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's just admin cost of, we use an M&L to look into if the project is even viable, so it's just a long process. So we're just starting the process.
Okay. All right. And one last thing I thought was interesting that I read was, once these are created, it sounds like they have to have a 15-year lease for the tenants. Did I read that right?
You're correct, but
Okay.
we're talking about seniors, so we're doing a whole lot of moving around as far as the agreements and everything, and it's ARP money. So there's a lot of leniency with ARPA and ARP.
Okay.
So we're trying to make it eligible for the seniors for a long period,
Okay.
because we don't want to have a project that the city will get into and be liable for that project at the end. We don't want to put money into something that once that period is over and it started dilapidating, who's going to be in charge of that project? Will it fall back on the city? So we're working all that out.
Super. Thank you for the extra explanation.
Thank you, Ms. Harvey Bethea. I just want to comment that I think it's very important for us to prioritize this for our elderly community and make sure that they do have property to reside in. And I love the workings of ensuring the 15-year lease to ensure that those properties, as those 15 years go along, are maintained for our seniors in our community.
Correct.
Do we have any public comment this evening? Is there a motion to place this on our March 18th legislative agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? And that moves forward to be placed on our March 18th, 2025 legislative agenda. Up next is a resolution approving the 2024 CAPER. Ms. Harvey Bethea?
Now, the CAPER, it's a long story. So the CAPER, we come before you guys every year. And actually, wait a minute, with and without my glasses, I can't read, so. All right, so CAPER stands for Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report. So it's actually a report card for actually everything we did in 2024. So in order for us to stay in compliance for HUD, we have to gather all of our information for all the projects we did in 2024, which is an IDIS system that is for HUD, and I have to put in all that data of what we did for the year. So I'm just going to list a few things we did for the years, because this is a long, right? But let me tell you, it's not done yet. This is just the draft. So actually, we are still drawing money for 2024 because we have 90 days, up to 90 days to draw to make our numbers be correct on this. So we still have projects that are being done from 2024. So when you do see numbers, they're going to change. So that's why, right, that's why we just coming to you so we can get on the agenda. So it don't have to go to HUD until March 31. All right, so few of the, well, put it like this, we have meetings all 2024, which is the same thing. We had the 5-year consolidated plan, we had the comprehensive plan, the annual action plan. We had so many things, but this is actually all the same data. So you guys will probably see the same stuff over again. So, you know, I know it's repetitious, but this is something we have to do each year. And I just wanted to say, while Kim is here, 2024 was good for me because I handle the finance part of it too. So we had so much money that we was rolling over from year to year, which made it hard for the budget and for us too with our explanations. But our budget is this small this year.
Yeah, we spent it.
Yes, we spent it all. So I cleaned up the budget.
That's great.
So you will see that we expended the money for projects like, say for instance, Public Works. Public Works, we put it in Vance Park, we put it in Yorktown.
Yes.
Yorktown is really falling apart, and I know that for a fact because I was in there. You know, the roof was leaking, the bathrooms are old, so they are actually putting the money in
Great.
Yorktown. So we kind of moved that money, which you guys agreed because I came before you guys and you guys switched it, so. And then we have RDA, which is acquisition, demolition, and stabilization.
Yes.
Stabilization is for the 300 properties that RDA own, and we have to maintain those properties. Most of it is land and not buildings, you know, but we have to maintain that to make sure everything is the grass cut and everything like that, you know,
Correct.
so it won't be a problem. The demolition we only used because we had emergency fires this year, you know, and then sometime they have to take it down right away. So that's what the demolition is used for. We didn't have any acquisitions at all. Then you have the rehab program. The rehab program is a program for, it was for 62 and above emergencies, the age of 62 and above, but we came down because it was more homeowners who needed, you know, more things like when you're talking about water heaters and your heat is going out and stuff like that, we put the money into that too. So we almost expended all that, you know, so that's almost done. Then you have CASA. CASA is for literacy and workforce resource development. And they have spent all their money also, which is a good thing. Let's see, you have literacy. It provides GED services, and English is a second language. So they use that totally every year, so we don't have to worry about that. LifePath, we issued them the money, but LifePath is something that we're working on. We did put them in our consolidated plan, but we're trying to work on the agreements because HUD have regulations for certain criteria of the people, because most of this money's for York City residents, and LifePath help everyone. So we're trying to get that worded and that jargon together to make sure, because they feed everyone. That's what this is about. So we're trying to get all that together for them so they could draw the money, and we're almost there. But we do have the money allocated for them. We just did not, if y'all see it, we did not allocate anything yet because we have to have a certain, you know, wording for them. So I'm trying to answer you guys' questions before y'all ask me. And you have permits. Permits is for 2.5 PMI salaries. Okay, but we're going to say it's for probably 1.5 because we only are giving them $200,000. And once you talk about salary and fringe benefits and everything, $200,000 do not cover 2.5
Maybe two.
salary. So we have to look at that also if we're going to keep that in our plan. You know, we either going to have to give more money or just change the agreement. So in Section 108, Section 108 is a loan that we took against ourselves, pretty much to say. Because if we have a big project and the amount of money they get allocate to us through the years do not cover, when I say $1 million, because we repaved the streets. So we actually took a loan out against the federal government, but we're paying it back.
Yes.
So we're almost done. We had 2 of them, and we paid that back. So we only have like $700,000 left, which is not a lot compared to interest and everything. So that's not a lot. A few more payments, probably 4. And then we have Hudson Towers. I'm going into home now because I did CDBG. Home is, we have Hudson Towers, but that's in progress. We came to you guys about Hudson Towers,
Yes.
but right now,
Yes.
you know, we're working on that because there's some things that have to be worked out as far as their financing and stuff. So I'll let you guys know about that whenever we do the agreement, when that come up. Let's see, the house on Queen Street, which is Affordable Housing Associates,
Yes.
right? So that should be done this summer, right? They're about to break ground. So we have four square. Oh Lord, I can't read. Not 4 square. For
Across the street from
the construction company.
South Royal Square.
Royal Square, I'm sorry, look, if I'm thinking of
Too many
4 square, yeah. Royal Square, so Royal Square got that all together because we had problems for a while, you know, to get that erected, but it's gonna be done, so I'm glad about that, that was a long time coming. And let's see, that's about it, well, 4 square. 4 square, although we're still CDBG and home, once the ARPA funds in home art in COVID came, we still were the entity that had to take care of those grants. So 4 square, they are in the process right now, and they're almost done. So they should be breaking ground too. So I'm
Wonderful.
glad about that too.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Home,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
On the west end.
Yeah, for Green Street. What is that? What is it?
The garden.
Yeah. what's
Where the
it
Hope
called?
Street
Hope
Garden
Street.
once was.
Yeah.
And let's see, we're finished the COVID funds finally. This is the last draw because we did grants for small business. That was our last run last year for the small business. So we expended all the COVID funds. That's closed. The only reason why I keep stressing closed is because right now we're in a weird time. So everything I put in that system that I'm talking about, I am the one that they're talking about. Jobs that saved, how much we're spending. If we don't spend our admin, our money, they're going to take it back. Locking the system, stuff like that, that's me. You know, so I got to make sure that everything is up to par, you know, we'll be in trouble and out of compliance. So, all right, you guys, I think I ran your ears up. Ran your ears enough.
Great job. Thank you, Mrs. Harvey Bethea. And, you know, I appreciate the thorough report, just to let the public know, let all of us know, you know, the great way that our money is being put to work and being utilized here in our city to assist our residents and assist our community as a whole, and definitely assist our nonprofits in our business community and bettering our community. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I just wanted to stress that although we say in housing department, we're in everything, you know, not just housing.
Right.
You know, oh yeah, the home buyers, the down payment and hope. Down payment and, you know, the buyers, the home buyers, right?
Yes.
So we're working on that also. We didn't have many because of the way the tide of, the way it's flowing for
Yes.
home buyers, so we have a few, but we do counseling, home buyers counseling, plus teaching finance, how to get their credit together, so it's a lot that we do in housing. It's just not really put out there.
Thank you. Hopefully it can be put out there more. Is there any council comment regarding this?
Thank you, great job. It was great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment regarding this? Is there a motion to place this on our March 18th, 2025 legislative agenda?
Move. Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. And that moves forward to be placed on our March 18th, 2025 legislative agenda. Moving along, we have a bill amending the 2025 budget for the Healthy Moms and Babies Program in the amount of $145,198. And I believe we have Monica here from our Bureau of Health.
Good evening. Thank you, Kim Robertson, for helping us push this forward to you all. Basically and I can address both of them, 6 and 7. Basically what we have is we have grant funding from the county through Children and Youth Services, and it directly funds our maternal child health program, Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies. So when the original budget for 2025 was approved, it was approved for the amount of, I believe, $354,802. We had requested over $500,000 because we have been severely understaffed in that program to be able to serve all the women, pregnant and parenting women in York City. So when we finally got the budget back from York County this month, we had seen an increase to the $500,000. So what is before you is requesting that we increase our budget, which we had. Of course, we have to put our budget in before we know the exact amounts. But this budget, we work on fiscal budgets. City works on calendar budgets. So again, as originally proposed was the $354,802. Yay, we ended up with more money. That's fantastic. Just as a side note too, that extra money is specifically earmarked so that we can hire another community health specialist and a part-time nurse. And specifically the community health specialist will be, we're requesting Haitian Creole speaking. Because we have a significant population that we are serving that is only Haitian Creole speaking. We do have one Haitian Creole speaker already, but that individual serves all of our patients across the board, every single service that we provide. So we are requesting that this be put on the March 4th legislative agenda so that we can have these funds readily available and proceed with hiring those two individuals and continue to do the great work that the people in this program do. Any questions?
Thank you, Monica. Do we have any comments or questions from council regarding this great program? Thank you. Mr. Elsbeth?
Hi. So it's all complimentary. I wanted to say that the City Health Department takes pregnancy seriously. And I believe both men and women should take family planning and pregnancy seriously. I met a pregnant constituent this month who asked how she could get more help to cover her living expenses, et cetera. And she doesn't work and hasn't filed for child support. But I'm happy to be able to refer her to the City Department of Health, because your website says that you can connect her with resources, medical services, and this Healthy Mom and Babies program is a great help to city women. And so if you don't mind, I would just want to give an extra plug to the website.
Thank you.
NewYorkCity.org. Look up the health department. It says that who's eligible, any pregnant woman living in the city of York, any postpartum mom with a child under the age of 2, what is the cost? Free for eligible women, funded by the state and the county. services that are provided, connections to medical services, resources, education, follow-up. You don't have to type all of that if you want to just refer it to the website.
Oh, no,
Just
I'm
reading
not.
right off the
Trust me.
website. Okay, good. And, okay, and how do you get into the program? You have a phone number, 717, for people who don't check the web but watch, 717-849-2299, right? 849-2299. Call and get help. Thank you very much for what you do.
Well, and while I have the podium, it is the phenomenal staff that we have. I just basically help support them and come to council meetings, so we have funding to support them. But just a short little story, there was a fire that involved some, actually the house housed 2 of our patients, pregnant women. None of them spoke English, so instead of calling the fire department first, they called our nurse. Fortunately, our nurse picked up, instructed them to get out of the house, and simultaneously, of course, called 911. Our staff individual that speaks Haitian Creole was also able to translate via phone with some of the first responders. So it's vital work. It goes beyond any of our wildest expectations. But just kudos to the excellent, outstanding team that day in and day out is there. And we don't take the place of any provider. We don't do that at all. We come alongside, and we, like you said, connect people with resources. And we do plan to be on one of the council agendas to do some more education about some of the other programs and services, but specifically this program, if there's any additional questions. So thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Buck. Is there any other council comment, questions? Any public comment or questions regarding this? Is there a motion to place this on our March 4th, 2025 legislative agenda?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that moves forward to be placed on our March 4th, 2025 legislative agenda. And this as well is for Monica. On the agenda, we have a resolution authorizing an agreement with the County of York for the Healthy Moms and Babies Program in the amount of $500,000 for the period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Do you have anything further to add on that, Monica?
No, I think I probably said more than
Yes. Are there any other comments or questions for Monica from council?
No.
Any comments or questions from the public regarding this? Is there a motion to place this on our March 4th, 2025 legislative agenda?
I move.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that moves forward to be placed on our March 4th, 2025 legislative agenda. Now we will be moving along to our police committee. Up next, we have a bill amending the 2025 budget for a JAG grant in the amount of $50,725 for the period of October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2027. And I believe our business administrator, Ms. Kim Robertson, will share.
Yep, this is a yearly occurrence. As you see that this grant that we've successfully received for at least the last 7+ years. It is effective in October of each year, but we, of course, like all of the grants, we don't get all the approvals and information in until after we already have the budget process going. So similar to Monica said with some of theirs, we come back and have to add it to the budget. So doing that once again, specifically with this one, and I give props out to Captain Akey. These grants for a while, kind of like how Tammy had brought up, we had like lingering money that rolled over every year, and we weren't quite sure, once we got in there, like, why haven't we spent this? So just like how she has made a conscious effort so we can clear out some of these older grants, Captain Akey has done that as well. So he makes sure that when they put their request in for the funding, that it's something that they plan on immediately purchasing as soon as they get it, as opposed to, there's no rainy day fund, because it's also the issue, sometimes they put in requests for certain supplies, and if they don't get on it right away, then the costs goes up afterwards. So he's been very dedicated to doing that and plans to do that with this as well. Again, this one is for $50,725. Specifically, they are going to be used to get equipment, supplies, let's see. Used for state and local initiatives, technical assistance, strategic planning, research and evaluation, data collection. They have several programs they're looking to add to their arsenal, that this would cover the fees for access to those programs, and also some additional contractual support that they receive towards some of those programs. So that's what they're going to be end up spending it, but in order to do that, we have to add it to the budget. So that's what this request is for.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions regarding this from council? Are there any comments or questions from the public regarding this? Is there a motion to place this on our March 4th, 2025 legislative agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? None. So that moves forward to our March 4th, 2025 legislative agenda. Up next, we have a resolution approving the FOP bargaining agreement for the period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm having deja vu. So we have had significant movement on this. We do have a final draft that the FOP has taken to their membership and received approval for. It's literally up on my desktop that I'm just cleaning up because, you know, we of course use the process of track changes. So there's this comment, that comment, this, and then when you say, oh, let's accept all of them, it's a big old formatting disaster. So that's what I'm currently doing, is cleaning it up. We will definitely have the finalized document to include on the agenda for March 18th.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I believe we have Dan here with us to speak.
Oh, no, he's a citizen. He just wants to speak in general about police.
Oh, okay. We'll get
He's
there.
not
Okay.
an employee.
Okay. Is there any council comment regarding this?
No.
Glad to see it finally coming to fruition.
Yes.
Yes, me too.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
Long time waiting. And do we have any public comment? Yes, sir. Yep.
First, I thank everybody for being here. It shows that, you know, you guys care, so it's meaningful, and just...
Give us your name, Dan.
Sure, it's Dan Lyons.
Lyons?
L-Y. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess I'm here mostly concerned about the recent shooting at UPMC. And I have someone close to me that works in healthcare in South York. And so I guess my one concern is the number of police that York currently has. I believe it's like 102 cops. And I wanted to just ask or request that if that number can be increased, because I think that, you know, considering the, you know, there's sort of the safety in New York City is sort of a concern. So I was wondering if that's something that I could just bring up as far as something that maybe in the future could be looked at, or so I'm not sure if that relates to the to this specific resolution or not, the FOP. So I don't have a lot of knowledge about it. I probably should have been more prepared, but I just wanted to kind of bring up that concern. If that makes sense.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Yes, sir.
Manuel Gomez, always a privilege to be here. Pardon me. Would the business administrator or perhaps a delegate provide a summary of changes with that new bargaining agreement? Is that in the works? Just when you thought it was over, forgive me, I might throw more work at you, but I do think it would be beneficial.
The actual arbitration award that we had shared with the agenda from last month is the changes.
That's it?
that is, because essentially that's what we came to them with. We're like, this is status quo. We're in disagreement about these certain changes that we're trying to make to the previous expired contract. Help us with it. They said, okay, this is what the changes will be. So the arbitration award is the changes to the contract for this year. All we had to do was incorporate those changes into the actual collective bargaining agreement itself, so it's an easier document to use as opposed to, hey, reference the expired contract and the arbitration award for the differences. So I will definitely make sure that that's included as part of the documentation with the final draft of the CBA, so it's easier to see what changed.
I guess that could be the summary. Thank you.
Is there any other comment from the community regarding this matter? Is there a motion to place this on our March 18th, 2025 legislative agenda?
So moved. Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And that moves forward to be placed on our March 18th, 2025 legislative agenda. Is there any council comment this evening? Sure, Councilwoman Buck.
Hi, thanks. I have two topics. The first is that we had gun violence this month with the February 19th shooting in the city, and then again at UPMC last week by an adult. Both resulted in a loss of life, and it's made me think about life and death, which I'm sure we are all contemplating that philosophically with these terrible losses. In both cases, there were confrontations and out of control emotions and action, as it looks to me from what I've read. So what can we do to prevent this in our community? We have the police department's group violence initiative working with at-risk kids, which is great and for which we're thankful. What other things can you or the government do? So I'm thinking that we each consider what triggers us to anger and how we calm ourselves down. I would like to ask our health team, headed by Monica Kruger, if there are any anger management training or resources that you could add to the health department website that people could go to for tips. I found myself researching on the web, and there are a lot of resources, but perhaps there's an overarching or one that you find especially helpful. And perhaps it's naive, but I would also like to ask residents to have discussions with family and friends about anger management techniques. We can all be triggered to anger, but we also need the tools to calm ourselves down and prevent violence to ourselves and others. So I'm optimistic. We need some tools and some education. We maybe need some more things, but I just wanted to share that. The second thing is February is Black History Month, which we know, and it's a time to honor the accomplishments of Black Americans. And specifically, I would like to recognize General Charles Q. Brown, Jr. He's the 21st Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the nation's highest ranking military officer who has served in that position since October 2023. He earned his commission in 1984 after graduating with distinction from the Air Force ROTC program at Texas Tech University. Please look him up and recognize his patriotic accomplishments. And I want to say thank you, General Brown. Also recommend that you get down to the York County History Center, which has a great presentation for local Black Yorkers who have made great contributions to the city. I thank Samantha Dorm for her wonderful work, and she's always presenting great history of Black Americans, Yorkers, that we should learn from and honor. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bubba. Is there any further council comment this evening?
I just want to say, continue praying for those that were affected. Our whole community was affected by it, but those that were directly involved, I believe, there's not a way to stop the violence, but there's a way to be more prepared for the violence. And I keep hearing people say, how can we stop it? How can we stop it? I think we just have to be prepared a little better and make sure that we're just being prepared. Our team was affected, part of our team at the high school in that whole situation, and some of the people that were in UPMC directly connected. So thanks for coming to speak on that, Mr. Dan. But yeah, we want to keep our community in prayer because we want to hope that it would stop, but we know that it will not stop, So before it happens again, what can we do? And what are the things that we can come together as community to keep each other, and pray about it. That's all I want to say.
And I believe I can speak on behalf of all of us here at York City Council, that, our thoughts and our prayers are collectively with Officer Durante's family and everyone's family that was affected, the UPMC family and all their family members that were affected, that we will continue to keep them in our thoughts and our prayers.
Yes.
Is there any comment from the administration this evening? Thank you. Our next committee meeting will be March 26, 2025, here in council chambers. As a reminder, all agenda items are due by 12 noon on March 19th, 2025. This meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a wonderful evening and an even greater week. Thank you.
Thank you.